Droid, and welcome back to Free Trial Droid. In this we're going to be looking at another free-to-play card game called Duelyst. It's a tactical card game that includes a movement and tactical positioning element to it. Kind of like modern games would be XCOM. There's also elements of things like Banner Saga and things like that. As far as like the card game elements go, it's very similar to things like Hearthstone, to things like Star Crusade, to things like Magic the Gathering. It's got similar style mechanics, but let's have a look. So this is the entrance screen. As with things like Hearthstone, things like Star Command, there are different decks you can play. So I'll just jump into a practice match. Linar Kingdom, Varuvian Empire, Abyssian Magmar, Songmar, Vanar Kindred. So there's the different groups you can play, and each one, just like with the different teams, has a different speciality, a different focus for what it can do, and a different set of cards. Just as with all of these things, you can discard overly expensive cards and hopefully get some nice cheap ones. It has an artifact system, which your hero is an actual character on the battlefield. And this is the tactical movement element to it. You take it in turns to summon, cast and move and attack on this board. Very similar to XCOM, very similar to, if you know the Heroes of Might and Magic series. Very similar movement and techniques. And the artifact mechanic is where you can place artifacts onto your hero, and you gain an artifact over here for 3 turns or three situations of taking damage. So these tick down as you take damage and the artifacts disappear. You can have up to 3 artifacts at a time. The board is important because these things actually give you mana for 1 turn, so they give you 1 mana for a turn. So I can actually give myself an extra mana by doing that and use that to pop his character, because whenever he casts a spell that minion grows, so we don't want that on the board because he's going to be casting a lot of spells, his minion's going to get bigger. You can basically mulligan individual cards. 1 card a turn can be mulliganed into your deck using the replace command, which he just used. And the whole idea is to wear down your commander. If the opposing commander has 30 units on the board and you have 1, but you kill your opposing commander, you win the game. So it does very heavily sort of support and enforce the idea of you wearing your opposing commander down. And the computer, as always, is kind of silly and does silly things. But there's things like Zeal, which means that when a unit is close to your commander, it gains additional benefits. There's a spell that you can use. This gives a minion near me +2, his gives 3 damage to a minion. Flying allows you to move anywhere on the battlefield regardless of distance. There's all sorts of things. You can place spikes that are basically traps. There's whole sort of stacks of things that you can do. So he's really buffing this unit, which is becoming a bit of a risk to me. So I said the computer's actually not particularly good, but at this point the computer looks like he's actually going to be able to beat me. Oh, that was dangerous and damaging. I'm kind of going to have to take him out because I don't want him growing any larger. I should have taken him out sooner. Let's replace that card, get myself another artifact, and I don't have any minions near me, so I've got nothing to buff. And it just goes on like this. The thing that makes this game great, just let's move on to the sort of payment thing. Just like in Hearthstone, you buy packs to get additional cards. You get cards as your heroes level up, and you also buy packs to gain cards. They're not ridiculously expensive, and you gain a decent amount of gold. There's quests you can do to gain additional gold as well. So there's a nice sort of additional set of things you can do to buff and gain gold and things like that. You gain spirit by disenchanting cards, which you can use to make into cards, and you can also use to buy these, which are little emojis that you can send at your opponent. You start with a little stack of them to begin with. And that's how kind of like the game runs. As well as that, there are some challenge modes. he has clarity, which means he gets smacked twice in a turn, and this is where the defeating just your opponent goes. So as you can see, it's a decent little tactical card game. You level up. As you level up, just as you would expect, you gain additional cards, you gain different additional heroes by defeating them in the play solo. You have a deck builder, you have a card collection. Over here you have your armory, and in the armory you can buy spirit orbs for the 2 different sets that are available at the moment. You can buy emotes, which are you can buy for cash or for spirit, profile icons, spirit or cash, card backs, skins. So theoretically, if you just played the game, did the daily quests, which I'll show you here, if you just did the quests, earned gold, bought cards, disenchanted cards, you could get all of the pay-for stuff for free, which is brilliant. I quite like that as an idea. There's also these solo challenges, which the early ones teach you mechanics. So this one teaches you how to use flying to bypass opponents. This one teaches you how to use opening gambit, which is basically like a on summon ability. So on summon, this card does X. And then later on the challenges, let's jump into one that I haven't yet defeated. So breakthrough, provoke to defeat the Magmar General in 1 turn. So I've got 1 turn to defeat this, and this character has provoke, which means no one can move past him or attack anyone else when he's in range, as do these ones. So I have to break this provoke. So what do I have? Deal 2 damage to the enemy general and all minions around him. Give a friendly minion 5, and health. Deal 2 damage to all minions and generals around it. Okay, so I need to move this forward. I need to this. So now, if I give this flying, and I move it to here, I drop this. I've done this wrong. Already I can tell I've done this wrong. I've broken provoke, but I don't have the ability to kill him. Okay. So let's see. Summon a copy of this minion in a nearby space. So that's its opening gambit, but it's already used its opening gambit. Deals double damage to minions. Oh, okay. So if this deals double damage to minions, if I move him to here, kill that. Drop this here. Drop this here. Move you forward. Attack him, forward, and attack him, and there we go. And so it has this solo play kind of challenge element. They do daily challenges, which and the daily challenges give you slightly more complex versions of those once a day to earn quite a bit more gold. And you earn and gain gold as you play through the challenges and as you play the rank matches. The rank matches are just the same, just played against a human being. Let's purchase a spirit orb with some of my gold, and let's also purchase a denizens of Shamzir. There we go. So I've got 1 of each, and let's go and break them open. And it shatters and you get your cards. Now this is one of the lovely things, is these play musical notes. I love the little musical interlude as they play. So opening gambit, teleport a minion to a random space, so that's his on summon. Deal 3 damage, deal 2 damage to all minions in a 3x3 area, so that's quite a powerful spell. Friendly minions gain +2 attack. Stun an enemy in 2x2 area. Again, quite a powerful area effect spell. And this is like the area effect spells actually become quite interesting because of the tactical grid that you're playing on. And we have another opening gambit. So let's have a look at Shamzir as well. So we've got Backstab. When attacking from behind, it deals extra damage. Creates Shadow Creep. So Shadow Creep is something that's placed on the ground, and when units end a turn in the Shadow Creep, they take damage. Hatch a friendly egg. So I haven't actually come across the egg mechanic before, so I'm assuming the egg mechanic is a 0 attack minion that can't move, and this is something that hatches out. A friendly minion gets +2/+4 if that minion has Zeal, draw a card. So this is one where it starts to stack things together. Zeal gives them bonuses when they're close to commanders. Take control of an enemy minion with 2 or less attack until the end of the turn. So that's basically a mind control. So as you can see, like, the mechanics are quite simple to start with, but as you start to build your deck and develop your deck, they're going to become a lot more complicated and a lot more difficult to pass against each other, and it's going to become much more interesting. They've got the solo play challenges, which are 1-turn challenges or 2-turn challenges, where they actually give you a puzzle to solve, and it's an interesting variant on the tactical style card game. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again next time.